OKS Youth Ministry podcast, where 3 of the OKS Youth Ministers talk about youth ministry. I am Michael Deese, and I am joined by Chris Fry, the legend, and also 2 OK Youth Ministers
We're
that don't
also
really matter.
here. Thank you.
But Chris Fry is here, and he is the man. Chris, tell us who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Well, I don't know about legend, but my name's Chris Fry. I'm the director of Latin mission teams at Great Cities Missions, where we partner with Latin preachers to form long-term mission teams to plant churches in larger cities throughout Latin America.
You sound like you have rehearsed that. Has that been rehearsed?
Not the first time he said that one.
No, I've been asked that question a lot, so I try to include certain terms to not be vague, not be ambiguous.
So have you done work in Panama?
Actually, in Central America, we don't do a lot because we try to, one of our calls is to find areas, particularly large cities, that have little presence of churches of Christ, and Panama has a lot there.
It does.
So we try to go in areas where there's not as much work being done.
The one that I'm most familiar with is your work in Paraguay. So tell me a little bit about how that happened and then how that, I guess, has kind of evolved into something more. Is that?
Well, that's a great story. We were students at Freed Hardeman in the late 90s. We graduated in 99, and we formed a mission team with some of our friends. Josh, interestingly enough, Josh Ketchum, who teaches at Freed Hardeman, was a part of that team. Enoch Rinks, Ethan and Ashley Harden, and a single lady named Vanessa Hetty, who's married to Josh Harden now. Anyways, we formed a team in the late 90s and wanted to go somewhere to serve where we thought there wasn't much work being done. And so we looked at a lot of different places. We narrowed it down to 3. One was Paraguay, one was the Philippines, and one was somewhere in the Pacific. But ultimately, we realized Paraguay had very little work done in Churches of Christ. One American missionary had gone there from 1980 to 1984. And so there was a few Churches of Christ there. And we ultimately trained with Great Cities in 2002 and moved there in 2003 as a team with a 5-year commitment. At the end of 5 years, some of the team returned. We stayed there till 2011. And after that, then more teammates came down and replaced us. And they planted 2 more churches since then. And so now, from our original church plant, there are 3 Churches of Christ added to the work there.
Well, just because of you, I'm just letting you know, because of you, Paraguay, for 1 year, had a new World Cup fan. And
Really?
that fan was me. I was like, hey, I know the guy that knows the guy that's down there. So
That's
go
awesome.
Paraguay.
Go Paraguay.
I know the guy who knows the guy.
When they beat, they made
I
it
remember
and lost
that,
to
dude.
Spain, who won that year in 2010, I think.
Yeah, it was 2010.
Yes, and when they beat South Korea to go on to play Spain, that city erupted. That was one of the coolest experiences I've ever seen. Everybody went in the streets, the cars, the people were dancing on the car. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was with them. I was dancing on cars.
That was an awesome experience.
So, working with Great Cities Missions, you said that you worked or trained with them when you did your first work. How long has Great Cities been doing what they're doing now?
Well,
How long is that
we actually
organization
started
been?
in 1976, so next year's our 50th anniversary. Started in Abilene, Texas, but now in Dallas under one of the Churches of Christ in Amarillo, Texas. And so it started off just trying to recruit American missionaries to Brazil, then expanded to other Latin countries, and now we even have a few works in the United States. Not as much lately, but in like Mauri Yegros down in Miami, who's from Freed.
So I had the blessing earlier to sit in on your first session that you taught about missions. The other 2 guys, I think, went to 2 of the other options that were offered here at M2Y. But you talked about planning and leading missions trips and how youth ministers can engage their students in missions. But really, one of the things we kind of dug into during the class was the importance of working or partnering alongside the local people in the ministry there. So speak to that just a little bit, because I think sometimes missions trips we're so worried about, making a great experience and giving our kids an opportunity to serve. But when we leave, that partnering, why does that matter?
Exactly. It's an important point. We want to balance the impact on our youth, the people going, along with the impact we're going to make. And so if we get a little out of balance, we can then maybe neglect what impact we're making on the other side. And particularly if we're just looking for particular experience or wanting our youth to have something. So we try to balance and come alongside what they're doing. What is the work already doing? How can we bless them? How can we be a part of that and extend that? Maybe encourage, bring some energy and share what we're excited about with them in whatever the fashion they deem effective.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So let me ask you this. Maybe it's parents or elders that are concerned about kids going on a mission trip, whether foreign or here in the U.S. What are some things that you or other ministers would like to say about that?
That's a good question.
Safety
Right. You want a good question to ask is what is appropriate risk? We don't want to put our kids in areas that are too dangerous. And so, again, speaking with locals or people that visit there regularly. I know one eldership called me one time about Mexico, and I said, listen, we go there all the time. I think if you have good parameters in place where you have private transportation, you're staying in places that are secure, you're not drawing a lot of attention to yourself, a lot of good guidelines that the youth ministers can have. That way you avoid putting your young people at risk. And you can also, I think organization and clarity with leadership always helps to alleviate their anxiety. And so
I had a girl one time. We were going to Houston for a mission trip down there, and she said, my mom said we couldn't go down there because it's too hot. And I was like, well, it's not really that much hotter than it is. And she was like, well, I heard that if you walk around down there, the bottom of your shoes melt. And I was like,
Arkansas or Alabama.
okay, well, we're taking a group to Houston this summer, and we'd love for you to go, but we don't want your shoes to get melty.
Hey, let me ask you this, Chris. So what you offered this morning, I know, was like a snippet. Does Great Cities Missions, do you offer something where maybe you do seminar with elderships or with congregations where you come in and explain to them what it might look like to partner with that?
Oh, absolutely. We do any type of workshop. We do a lot with missions committees and helping them, if they're going to support one of our missionaries. What we try to do is align a overseeing church with a missionary family so that they'll support them, and we just serve as a liaison, serve as a representative between the two, try to make sure that they have that relationship. And if there's no language barrier, that's even better. But then we will help those missions committee define, okay, so what does this partnership look like for us? How involved can we be, right? Some churches can be very involved. Others, they just don't have the processes or the structure in place to where they're just kind of sending money and they're a little bit receiving the reports. But so we really want to help them. What does care look like, right? And so we do want to have a certain level of care where we're involved in their lives, where it's a partnership and not just a check or the church is a bank, right? We don't want that. And so absolutely, we do those types of workshops. We do those types of meetings, and we've done this via Zoom. We can on site. We want to help those leaders really partner with the work. It's an extension of that overseeing church, right? And so that's what's important.
Where did you say Great City? You may have said it earlier, is based out of?
We're out of Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
I'm personally out of Middle Tennessee. I'm off-site. So we have a few of our staff is off-site, so we just meet via Zoom and go to Dallas.
Are you in Nashville?
I'm in Lebanon, so right out on the east side of Nashville. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm a youth minister, and I am looking for a mission trip.
Mm-hmm.
Could I just give Great Cities Missions a call and just say, hey, I'm a youth minister and I'm looking for a mission trip? How would that process work, and how could you better facilitate?
I can vouch she is a youth minister.
Okay,
I'm an okay one.
Okay one, right. Well, my first recommendation would probably be look at your current mission support and see where you, as a mission, as a youth ministry, can partner with your current mission. So that would be if there are opportunities there. Sometimes they're not. Maybe you support all the way in Africa, and that's not a good place to take youth. But I'd first start, maybe we have a place in Mexico. Maybe we have a place in somewhere that is accessible that we could partner, and that way we further our church's mission through our youth ministry. That's probably where I would start.
That's something that Harry is doing through, where is it, Honduras?
Haiti.
Sorry.
I love Honduras.
I do. Well, we have somebody in Honduras, so I think about it often. So Haiti, tell him, Harry Hames.
Harry Hames, for many years, ever since even before I got to Flint, he's been our head of missions over Haiti. And we do stuff every single year in regards to Haiti. And sadly, we haven't been able to go, since before COVID. Maybe one day we'll be able to go back. It doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon due to their country. But he's always very involved with that. What we just did here recently was
the bags.
Yeah, the bag. I'm not sure what exactly he calls it now, but it used to be where we'd go and get our own toys and put it in the bags, and we would send it off. And now it's a little small, like potato sack bag or
like an envelope, basically.
Yeah, and you just sit there, and now you just give money towards it, and it's donated towards Haiti, and it's for kids for Christmas.
And what I've liked about that is they hand it out. They try to get their teens to be a part of that, draw them into the mission of what's happening with it.
Right.
So,
I love that.
And then he does a quarter box too, an envelope, whatever you want to say, and the little kids can keep a quarter a day, and after 20 days, it's so much, and that can feed a Haitian kid for 2 weeks, something
awesome.
along those lines. So it's neat.
Well, beyond just your partnering works within your church, you could definitely call up Great Cities, and we would probably do more like a survey trip, and we could go to a few sites and, with your missions leaders, youth ministry leaders, and say, okay, so here's some options here, or Zoom call with certain missionaries, and we can talk about this type of trip or this type of mission. That way it's a benefit both to what you're looking for to impact your youth, but also the impact that they're going to make in that local place.
Yeah.
And so those are options. There are, other groups that have more structured trips that you can also talk to, in Honduras or Mexico as well.
So let me. Well,
I was saying something about Honduras. It was a joke.
Go. Okay, so I know we're pushing up against. They're about to start the next session, and they're going to have a class in here, I think, in just a minute. But let me give you just the platform for a second. Is there a specific mission that you're working with right now that you are seeking a congregation to get involved with, or is there a specific minister that you're trying to help? And you kind of got the microphone. You're going to make a plea for if there's somebody that's interested in getting involved, is there somebody right now that you would plug?
Yeah, and get phone numbers and website, any of that stuff.
Sure. Well, you can find me at greatcities.org or chris@greatcities.org, or anyway, through our website, any of our staff. We have a new team for Pachuca, Mexico, and one for, how do we say that again? Querétaro, Mexico, that are missionaries looking for support. Like I said, we have a team already approved. We do a full assessment process. So before we kind of say we'll work with a team, is we put them, they go through applications, interviews, and psychological assessments, because we just want to make sure that they're spiritually and emotionally healthy to cross culture and plant a congregation. And so it's real important that they can work together, and some people are made to do different works, and that's okay. And so if we put kind of what we would say maybe our stamp of approval, we're saying we believe these are going to be good candidates for serving in this cross-cultural area, and so we are asking you to support them. And so we have 2 teams in Mexico that are currently, there's some members looking for some support. So those are, I work with vocational teams now. It's a little less. We have a new team in Iquitos, Peru, which is the largest city in the world that has no land access. So anyways, so we have some new works. So a lot of exciting things.
What kind of a monthly commitment is a congregation making if they're supporting financially on average?
On average, if it's in a larger city, full support, we're looking probably $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a family. If there are less, that you can adjust that up or down depending on how expensive that city may be. Rent is going to be your biggest expense. Our vocational teams are less than half of that, usually about $600 a month. Okay. And wow. they're generating around $400 to $500 on their small business. So
yeah, that's awesome. We just set up our church very recently. Just set up with a church in San Salvador, and that we're really excited about it. I mean, we've been doing it for less than a year, and our church is really we're pumped about it. And so awesome. I know how exciting missions like that can be, and getting to from the ground and seeing it grow and seeing it build. It's really awesome. And so, man, Chris, I want to just say thank you so much for all that you've done and all that you're doing. Yeah. And if there's any way that us at the OKS Youth Ministry can help, you let us know, and we'll do whatever we can to help and get the word out. You guys, have any other questions or anything?
Yeah, I'm not sure when this episode's coming out compared to the rest of the ones that we've recorded here at M2Y, but just an update on the game that we mentioned last time. Heritage
Upset
has
alert.
had the comeback, and they won 24-23.
Now,
so
no
they're still
way.
in the tournament.
Granted, we did play it at Florence. It was snowing. I don't know that the Pepperdine Waves were prepared for snow.
They froze those waves.
They did.
Yeah, it did.
That's terrible.
Hey, Heritage just waved bye-bye to Pepperdine.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
And we hope that your ministry is blessed.
good. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today in the important conversation of youth ministry. Go and follow us on Instagram and check out oksyouthministry.com for more information about our upcoming episodes. We'll be dropping a new episode every Wednesday morning, and we look forward to talking with you again next week. And hey, it's okay to be the OKS youth minister around, but let's all strive to be just a little bit better.